Welcome to my persuasive speech for my Rhetoric 101 class. Currently, among the crisis of COVID-19, 80% of the U.S. has been placed on lockdown. Also, the total number of people in the U.S. that have been infected is quickly approaching 250,000, with 4,500 confirmed deaths. Sorry. And for the U.S., it hasn't even reached its peak in terms of mortality, as it has already done so in China and is now on the decline. As stated by the CDC, most of the cases that have been confirmed are not directly travel related. So most of you are probably wondering why it is such a big deal to not be able to go outside. But if that's what you were thinking, then you have the wrong idea. The CDC isn't trying to keep us out of contact with people, but it is trying to prevent the spread of the disease further. More people outside obviously means more people possibly infected. The social distancing is supposed to be used as a means to stopping the spread of the cycle of COVID-19, which makes sense on why it was just extended to the end of April, as it was before to the beginning of April all through March. I would like to first establish that I am not an expert on any of this, but I am also experiencing what most of you people are experiencing during this current crisis or pandemic that we're going through. During this interesting time period that we're going through, we all have a lot more time on our hands. I feel as though we should be using it to our advantage as opposed to looking at it as a disadvantage that we have been seeing it as. The three main points that I would like to address are finding a way to stay healthy without a gym, get more of a grasp on the subjects that you are learning, and or don't completely isolate your social life and find easy alternatives to communication. I would now like to dive into the first advantage, which is staying healthy without a gym. So exercise is a healthy way to use your time and not gain too many pounds during eating mainly home-cooked meals. Evidence to support this is not having a gym and being mostly stuck inside can cause people to gain a bit of unnecessary weight, seeing as though there isn't much to do as I'm just sitting at home. But instead of just laying around, you could do something about it. Just recently, a few of my friends have been recording some workout videos that they've also put on YouTube, and have come up with some pretty interesting workouts as opposed to not having a weight room or weight rack to use. It's mainly body workouts that you can do to stay fit, or maybe just going outside for a quick little jog, as long as you're staying away from people, would also be acceptable. The second advantage would be using time to study. Putting in more time to your studies is also a good use of time and couldn't hurt to get a head start on your work, right? Evidence to support this is studying at home and on your own has proven to be much more difficult than some people do believe. Seeing as the graduation rate of most online colleges is 20% or under, you should be studying more to stay above the curve of that graduation rate, at least, because most of us have been stuck with not being able to use our time wisely and maybe goofing off a little bit too much, as opposed to studying without a exact classroom atmosphere. It has been a struggle for me, at least, I know, because after class I have to do my work and stay on top of everything without having a structure for that we did have at Wabash, having the structure of a classroom and then library or at-home setting that we had in our in-house library. So that I was at a fraternity, it made more sense to do that. Which brings me to my third reason, or my third advantage, which is staying in contact with friends. Staying in contact with your fellow Wabash men and close friends via FaceTime, calling, texting, Zoom meetings, or other social media. Evidence to support this advantage would be social distancing doesn't mean you have to distance your entire social life. With the advances in technology and the power of the internet, currently, you can always stay connected with your friends and others close to you. For me personally, I've been using Zoom and the social media Snapchat to either be able to text my friends on a day-to-day basis, chat with my friends and be able to see their faces on Zoom, and set up close meetings with my friends on Snapchat so that I can just see what they're up to and see how they're going about their process. I would now like to address the counter argument. And the counter argument is that how long is this going, like, you can only do this for so long, how long is this going to last? So some say that this is worse and is going to get worse because this is a pandemic and it could last a lot longer than just 2 months. Well, that doesn't mean that you can't do your best, that you can't make the best of a bad situation. The more you get down about it and the worse you feel, the less productive you're going to be. So if you really be able to grab hold and take grasp of either your classes, your physical or even mental health, and just buckle down, then I think that most of us can get through this. And just remember that you can always contact somebody, close friend, or some fellow Wabash men and talk to them about it if you're struggling or need some help. To conclude, we should be using this spare time to our advantage and not waste it. To summarize, exercise is good in more ways than one. It helps you mentally and it also helps you physically. Staying connected by staying connected by stay connected by staying connected. As long as you're in contact with some of your friends or some of your fellow Wabash men, even some of the people you live with, then you won't feel completely isolated in this social isolation. And don't blame you falling behind on the change that has happened. I know that it's hard and it's easy to do that. It's hard to learn in this kind of environment, and it's easy to blame it on, oh, I'm not at school, or oh, I can't I can't have access to everything that I had when I was at school. But you just have to remember to improvise on your situation, then adapt to it, and then overcome your circumstances that you're currently facing. To close, I hope that you've made some good takeaways from this speech, and I want to make some improvements to maintain a healthy lifestyle, or just found something else that you can use to pass the time for however long this pandemic and social distancing will last. Thank you for your time, and have a good day.